Hey everybody, and welcome on back to Building with Whip. Today is episode number 2 of our Docks Let's Build mini series here that we are doing in our Building with Whip world. We have been working on the last episode. We came through here and planned all these structures out, added some extra details in here, worked in our little bit of a dock area over here, as well as built up the fancy tree there and the good old inn pub. Pub. I still don't know what it is. I had so much fun last episode getting back into our city itself and building up a bunch of things throughout here to make this whole area feel much more alive. I love doing this little detail down here, adding in all this extra life and everything with the shaders. It just looks oh so amazing. Even without them, it still looks pretty dang cool. Before this build, we did finish up that massive castle build over here, and we just put out a world tour and download. If you guys want to go check on that, there will be links down in the description that you guys can use to go check out all that stuff over there if you want to be downloading the world and seeing everything here for yourself. However, in today's episode, we are going to be working on a magic shop. I want to, in this area, include a little bit of a magic shop so that we can add in, basically the idea is to have some sort of a peddler in here who is a fake magician who's like, hey, get these authentic wands and authentic magical spells and things like that. That would probably be what they'd be using over there in the castle. So basically he's here trying to get the tourists who are going over to the castle itself to like check out all the wizards and all that stuff. So in here he'd be like, hey, I swear I got all the real stuff. So that's the idea behind this one. Hopefully it'd be pretty cool when we get there. I'll make it very flamboyant and very much showing that it is a magic shop. So a lot of display windows. I think we'll bring in a few more things like that, maybe like a big old long one here across the base so we can have it look like, hey, look at all these wares inside the store of the interior if we eventually do it. However, I do have a quick question for you guys here. If we were to, every few episodes on this world, just jump around to some random project inside of the world and just take a break from here, similar to how when we were working on the castle, we did over in the vineyard area right behind all the walls and everything here. We took a little bit of a break for a few episodes and came over here and did this. I'm thinking instead of a few episodes, we just take like one episode break and go work on another project here for a little bit. So if we had to do that, let me know on this list of things what you guys want to be seeing. 1, do we jump up into our mountain range way over here if we can actually fly and take off? Do we do some work on the mountains, getting this stuff set up, working forwards there? 2, we could come into here and do a little bit of work building up those that treed area that we have right here. 3, we could jump back over to Papyrus, do a little bit of work in the desert city. It's been a good chunk of time since we were over there. Or 4, do we potentially like bring in a boat or something like that into the city inside of this area? We could work on some smaller boats, some smaller elements that we could add throughout the city. So maybe we're not focusing in this part of it, but we're still working the whole big general scheme of everything throughout here. Let me know down in the comments below what you guys like to be seeing along those lines moving forwards here. And let me go ahead and get a little bit of an outline done for what I want this general area to be looking like for our structure here, and I will be back with y'all. Welcome on back, everybody. In typical Whip fashion, this build has gotten to be rather enormous, and it's completely gone out of scale for what I had initially thought it would be. But to bring you guys in for a bit of an update here, I wanted to make the front of this look like we have 2 different archways, similar to what we did here, but I wanted to mix it up a little bit more and make it more unique than what we were doing over there. By this guy right here is actually going to be stepping out 2 blocks, so we're going to have a bit of a covered walkway coming through here. It does make our road a little bit skinnier, but that's why I bumped this one back so far here so that we can still have this good way of just being able to get around the area. We can probably get rid of that guy as well and reformat how that building's going to look a little bit better there, but that should allow us to get a good idea of what everything's going on. And this one is where I'm thinking now we're going to be doing that big bay window that I was talking about, where we're going to have basically being able to look into the shop and see all of the goods and all that stuff. I figured right there is probably a good spot for it. That makes this area a little weird because it's actually an even width, but I messed with the roof a little bit here, so it's gonna look like it's coming down into this guy over there, which allows us to have that single 1 point at the top. Because we're at an angle, comes back here and we get that odd side out here at the back, which works out pretty well. I like this one so far. That leads me to the point where things are getting weird. Back in this area, I thought it was very, very boring to have this small little house right here, so I thought we could mix things up and add an extra element to it. I thought if we connected these two houses right here with an overpass or an archway of some sort coming in through this area, it can make a really, really cool entrance into some little private gathering area back here. That could allow us to throw a little barrier wall right in there as well. And then this could turn into a lush garden, or maybe a small little like herb garden or potato and carrot garden or something like that. A little tiny field back here, but I thought that was a really cool idea. So what I was thinking was that we could bring these guys up here like this, and then that'll come up like you, and that brings us to floor 2 right here. And then right over on this side, unfortunately, I wanted to have a large cobblestone base on this one, so it'll make it look like things are a little bit higher up. So I figured over here we could have this start and actually come from 1 block lower. Then here we're gonna basically bring it over like this, and that'll allow us to create a bit of an archway. Then I was thinking we'd probably want it to be stretching back out like this, so it'll have a good amount of width to it so that we can have a good walking area. So I figured something like that to walk across probably wouldn't be the worst idea. We might want to make it a little bit tall or a little bit wider and make it actually 3 wide so it looks a little bit more even here. I don't really care how far back we take it this way. It's more worrying about how far it comes forward here. So with this, that would basically allow us to go there, bring up the walls, basically do a little three tall walkway and get a cool corridor bit attached onto this, which I think would be really cool. And then can we get on top of you for now? And then that'll allow us to do just like a little 1 wide stretch of a wall jumping all the way across here with some stairs and slabs and stuff. So it should be pretty easy to do. It should be pretty easy to manage, but that's the general idea for now. I'm still working on coming up with a palette. Right now, I've just been wanting to get the generic shape of everything in here. And I thought that'd be really cool to bring you guys in and let you know about this little archway tunnel, air tunnel, sky passage design that I want to add into here. And welcome on back. I've been doing a little bit of work on this guy right here, and I like it so far. It's very much in the works still. I could not figure out quite how I wanted to make this lower area work here, so I ended up defaulting just to doing 2 different windows here, and I think we're gonna take these up to being 3 tall, so just have a little bit more detail and depth to them than being those shorter 2 tall ones right there, because that looks a little bit more grand and inviting and something you'd want to go and explore and stare into the shop windows. Beyond that, I've been doing a little bit of work over here on the side. I've come up with the side pattern that I want to be going with. Basically what we're using here is stripped dark oak logs facing out along the bottom here. Going up on that next side, we got stripped spruce logs, and then we got spruce planks going all the way up this guy. I do want to figure out a few different places where we can throw in a few small windows. I'm thinking we might just do like a small one right up there and a small one right up there. And I was thinking with those, we could just do the regular plain windows wherever those things are. And actually, you know what? Let's do some white windows. I'd like to get a little bit more color on this because those ones will look a little dull and a little boring. Whereas the white ones, because we have that being a little spruce outline to them, they work really well. Beyond that, I have done the roof bit on this section here as well to take a quick fly into the sky and show you guys what's going on here. Just using some dark oak, piling it all up, going all the way up here, and we're about to fall off. We were able to get a pretty awesome bit of a roof going on up here. Let's go over to this guy, and you can see right there, it just jumps straight up to there. A little bit inlaid beyond the outside roof itself so that we get these stone walls on the front and back of this that make it look very, very sturdy for that point of view. Something I still do need to go back in there and touch up a little bit more. That being said, coming over into this area, I've been doing a little bit more work on these as well. Actually, I want to leave that as stone. Right here, I wanted to start bringing in that same wooden texture that we've been using over in these areas to get this area looking a little bit more cool and interesting as well. So what that brings us into is we need to start doing this stuff right here, basically bringing these guys all the way up, and that'll come up, just strip all these ones down, and then in here we need our, just the regular spruce planks. And we can do spruce planks right there, and that'll give us a little bit of a doorway. Then I'm thinking in here we might do a window as well. I don't have any full white glass blocks on me right now. Let's sleep and get some of those. This should give us a pretty good idea of what the general front area is going to be looking like in here. And that leads me to the next part, what we want to do up here. This stuff right along all of here, I wanted to bring in that wood texture bit as well so we can make this area look a little bit more interesting here too. I did want to leave in this lower part being stone, making it look like this lower part here is actually supporting up everything. So we can do this, bringing these guys all the way across here, and it should look pretty good. With stripped spruce logs going all the way, or stripped dark oak, they actually get darker because of the texture pack we have right now. So I think I'm going to need to work on those textures there a little bit, but I like that. Then I was thinking we could do strip dark oak as a bit of a border along here, and then come back in and fill in the center area with whatever we want as far as windows and things like that go. I was thinking up here, because we weren't able to get that bay window to work on that one, I think we can get something like that working on this one. So I'm gonna mess around with this a little bit here as I go throughout, and I'll be back with you guys as soon as I have an update. I've been doing a lot of work getting this front area situated here, and this is basically what I've come up so far. I want to bring in a lot of bushes and other things along this area to make it look like a plant potter or something along those lines to bring in some extra color and life into here. But I like all the color transitions. I think the woods look very colorful and very interesting. I think this being that much darker than the side there is bugging me a little bit, but overall I do like this right now. I'm thinking that one I made it too tall because on the inside it looked a little weird. I've started putting that second floor in here as well for where that second floor area would go, which will help us to easily plot out some areas where we can maybe, like, I don't know, throw a window. Not right there. Try this again, and we throw a window. I like that. That works better. That works much better. Let's just throw a bunch of light blue stained glass in there. We can have a 4 tall window. That's totally fine. What I've been working on right now is bringing in all of our roof bits for this second guy, which has brought us with a little bit of a problem as we're working through this whole one, where the area right back in here actually ends right there. So what I'm thinking, now that I've been kind of messing around with this, is I would actually like to start pushing the wall or the roof bit like over a little bit here so that it can come more in line with that one. I basically want to make it look like this thing is slowly turning, going all the way around over there. It should be pretty good once we get all of that stuff set up. And I'm thinking the pattern that we're using right now, which is the strip spruce logs with then spruce planks, will be really good for bringing that line in throughout here as well. We're basically not going to touch this house back here until this one's fully finished up and that connection over into here is made. I do want to, now that I'm looking at it, I think we're going to need to do a little bit of a window right in there, and just as a border to the window or as a little topper, we'll do that spruce plank and we can bring in the white stained glass. Then I do want to also get some sort of a fireplace in here. I'm thinking it might be this wall, but I really wanted it to be on that side, but I think that alleyway back there is just too skinny. So we might turn this area right here into a bit of a fireplace coming back into this back area, which I think a brick accent could be really cool on there. Bringing like an exterior fireplace so it's like leaning up against the wall there. I think that could be pretty good. But I'm just working through a bunch of things here. I'm getting through a lot of stuff that's looking a little weird right there, sticking out like that. So let's see if we can't. Yeah, that'll work. That'll work. You know, it might actually be better to take all 3 of these guys. And where did we only get one back? We only got one back. Let's get ourselves up here real quick. I'd like to get all of these ones back. I did bring in some spruce planks up, or spruce trapdoors up there just to help blend things a little bit better, but I think right here this might look a little bit better. Yeah, that's much better. That's much better. Just keeping a one long line right there. Let's actually do that over here as well. I think that'll be a good change. First things first is we now have our chimney in place, which is looking pretty solid. It's jumping up out of here and it goes down that way a little bit more all the way down to the base there. I like that one. And second off, after many long minutes, I was gonna say hours, but that's not quite true, of trying to get this walkway overhang part here figured out. Coda just walked and ran into the door, if you guys heard a bang in the background there. Oh, that was funny. This thing is all pretty much figured out here. I like this. I do want to mix it up a little bit more so it's not just all that stone brick at the base, but I did bring in a little bit more brick. After I'd done this guy on here on the back to see what it looked like with the chimney in there, I really like that brick accent and that color it added in. So I wanted to go ahead and bring that in here a little bit further and get a little bit more of this stuff in here. However, the more that I've been looking at it, I've been really playing with the idea. I don't have any slabs on me, but raising up this area back here. I think I mentioned that before, but I was thinking about it all being either on this level or actually one higher than that level. I think could be really cool. Having basically right here, you go up a little bit of a raised entrance to come up into this back area, I think would be awesome. That being said though, our front building here is more or less complete for the structure itself. I do need to add in a little bit of texture variation to this guy right here. And add in some bushes and things. I've been working on this area right here as a little bit of an experimentation, bringing in some spruce trapdoors, some oak leaves, a little bit of dark oak here for a little bit of that dark splash, and then bringing in some more of these iron bars to create a little bit of a doorway. And I like that. I think that worked out pretty well. We probably won't build up what's back here. Coda's crying if you guys can't hear him, so let me go ahead and run him outside and get a little bit more work done here, and hopefully this main guy will be finished up and we can work on the other parts. Welcome on back, everybody. I decided to mostly focus on working on the front of this guy. We got the texture variation in right here. I changed out these pillars to being andesite as well, and I think it works a little bit better. It's a little bit noisier and less totally smooth that when we had the stone in there. This guy here hasn't changed it up too much, but that's pretty much finished up for now. Still haven't brought a grass block in there. And I haven't done too much work on the backside here. I do need to bring that texture variation in here as well. I do actually need to get this guy changed over to a polished andesite, but I thought it'd be kind of fun to mix things up here a little bit, change things out a little bit for what we mostly do in these videos, and I thought it'd be really cool to kick this off into third-person time-lapse mode and build up the house right here. Yep, you guys heard me right. We're gonna do some third-person time-lapse building, not just a big terraforming thing, or not just a big like, get a bunch of stuff gathered up. Let's get some building on. For today's time-lapse chat, I wanted to ask you guys a few things because recently the support from you all has been insane. I want to just say a big shout out and thank you to everybody who has just been killing it recently. The support has been really surreal. I don't even know what to do with it at this point. I am so far behind the goals on Patreon. I did not expect to get anywhere with it. I was expecting maybe to hit the tier 1 goal of the $100 per month. And we're currently over 60 patrons right now, which is just insane. So big shout out and thank you to everybody with that. And with that though, as I mentioned before, I am now in the marketplace for 1, a new microphone, and 2, I'm looking to promise and follow through on the other patron goals, but those will be coming in due time. I'm gonna try and make sure that I can figure out how to do that in a way that'll be sustainable and something that I can consistently keep up and that you guys will actually enjoy as well. I don't want to just be forcing out all this extra stuff to force out extra stuff when I don't have that additional time to be able to do it right now. But anyways, a big way that if any of you are interested in audio or anything audio technology related, microphones specifically, and you guys have recommendations on where to buy, what brands to look at, or anything like that, please do let me know down in the comments below. I am so dumb when it comes to these types of things. I can build a computer, but anything speaker related or anything like that, I have no understanding at all about it. So with that, if you guys have any ideas on microphones that I should be checking out or anything that I should be looking at when looking to upgrade into a better audio sound system or anything like that, I am all ears. Please do let me know down in the comments below. That would be extremely helpful. On top of that too, I figured as another bonus way that as we're moving into like having this larger patron community where I do have a few more funds kind of disposable to me because of that, I've also been looking into upgrading my computer again. And upgrading a few things because I think the CPU runs a little too hot and a little too slow for my current likings in here. It does what I like it to do, but I would like to bring back those shaders time lapses, which just aren't possible right now because my computer just runs at 15 frames a second. If I'm running 2 of them, running shaders on 1. Anyways, so my question to you guys is, would you guys be interested in seeing like a vlog time lapse type thing of like building a computer? Is that anything you guys would be interested in? Would that be something cool, or would that just be like, no, Whip, go build your computer and bring back and show us all the shiny new things? Because this one, my current rig right now is very much set up. This would be down the road, pretty far down the road, but something I'm looking into doing maybe within the next year is build a new computer. But basically on that, it's like, I have this current rig right now that does everything I need it to. So for the next one I want to go for, I want to go pretty fancy. I want to go really kind of state-of-the-art, really cool looking case for it and all that type of stuff. I'm looking at a few different thermal take cases right now, which is one of my favorite brands for computer cases. This probably doesn't apply to very many of you at all, but basically I found all these cases that just have these really cool LED lights because, you know, that makes your computer faster. And they have like glass paneling on 3 of the 4 sides or 5 of the 6 sides of the cube or whatever. I don't even know what math is. 6 sides, there we go. But yeah, so I'm looking at a few really cool cases, potential water cooling, all that type of stuff. So anything you guys have recommendations for that, like audio stuff or whatever it is, I am in the market very much to be upgrading things. So let me know if you guys have any recommendations. I hope there's a few of you out there in the community now that are really interested in that type of stuff, because I would love to hear it. I am always down to learn and to take things in from you guys. Thank you guys so much for the support again. Let's go ahead and jump back on into the world. I am just now realizing at the end of the video, while I was making this comment or question of the day, that this is coming out on Valentine's Day. So happy Valentine's Day, everybody, and for those of you who are spending Valentine's Day sitting here watching me play Minecraft and build stuff, yeah, I appreciate you guys. Thanks so much. Okay, so what I wanted to add in here real quick before we get on with our commenter question of the day so far is I wanted to come back in here, and I was thinking we could slide one in right here. I wanted to bring in a few little window bits. You might hear Koda whining in the background here. He's downstairs doing his thing. But what we can do with this is basically take these guys up like you, and then we'll probably just do that guy right there. And then here we can bring out our stair bits. Sorry if it's a little hard to see with the shaders, but I was thinking we could do that over here and make a really big window. So this guy kind of sits back here like this. Thought that'd be pretty cool. And there's my face. And then coming back over to this side, I wanted to just slide a little tiny one in right here where we can take you out, turn these guys so that they're facing inwards or outwards, I guess, to make a little bit of a box in here that we can sync up that glass pane right there. And that should help break up that wall and that roof bit right there. Perfect. That does exactly what I wanted it to do. Now, down in this area, I have added in quite a few little extra details after we finish that time lapse. Let me know if you guys enjoyed that one. I'd be happy to do that stuff more often here. What I went ahead and added in here was this little cart right here with a bunch of crates and ladders and stuff on it. We got a few crates over there. We got some vines, and I broke up that top bit because it just felt very flat there. Added in a sort of a trellis structure almost that would have a bunch of leaves on it. Coming through back here, we just got some more crates and things, and I decided to hide a little tiny wheat field back in here. Obviously, this might get torn out as we're building up this big old structure right here, which I have no idea. What should this thing be? What should we throw in here? I have no idea at all. Anyways, coming back into here, I haven't done too much in here, but I want to turn this into like a dirtied up area with bringing all this stuff up. And that's kind of where we're at with this one. We'll probably touch on this guy next episode as we build up a house or something like that. I have a very, very angry dog downstairs. Quickly to get to our commenter question of the day so I can go take him out to get him some good running in or something like that. I don't know. We'll even see with that. This comment of the day here is coming from HKM Gamer, and he's saying, Whip, you could build a mining camp where you're mining for stone. And I think that's a great idea because a lot of what I've been doing in this world, I need to go to the gold farm in between episodes. A lot of what I've been doing in this world is basically just creating a giant hole down underground and just going down to like 13 beacon mine every single direction, take out like 5 blocks tall and just keep going and destroy all that stuff. And what I was thinking when I read this comment was over in this area where we have the mountain range and I want to have it kind of cut off and start coming back down into this area to merge it all in together. What if we basically took this area right here, which looks really funny from behind, and turned this into a giant quarry that's like cut into the mountain, and then we can dig down underground here with a few like caves and things like that. And that is where I can get my beacon mine going. I think that could be a really cool idea if we turn this basically into an area eventually where we do our big mining projects, where we do all of our big mining excavations. Could be really cool to walk underground after like 2 years of digging here, which was kind of the idea that I was going with my current mining area, and just see this giant chasm. Speaking of which, let's jump over to our current one. That one's actually pretty cool to check out. Hidden here under Castle Bleakrock, which seems a large quantity of you guys prefer this castle over the Arcanum, which is cool to hear. I like them both for their own reasons, but I think Bleakrock's got probably my favorite one of the two as well. But this is the giant mines that I've been slowly excavating, mining everything out. You can see it goes all the way back there. It's pretty freaking massive. And I started coming through this area here and bringing it up even higher. So basically you can hold like a pickaxe and just like walk a straight line and destroy all that stuff. Obviously a little bit faster with an actual beacon in here, but that's basically where we at for now. I think it is though time for me to get into the gold farm. It's time for us to get a few more experience levels. So just like, let's see if we can hit that. Nah, that guy's a little bit closer. Oh, hey buddy, nope. Oh man, we missed him. All right, let's get you. All right, now they're pretty angry at me, and I think that is a good place to end this episode off. Thank you all so much for watching. I really hope you guys have enjoyed this episode. Please hit that like button if you did enjoy. Hit that subscribe button if you are new. And I'm gonna soak up a few levels here. I will catch you on the flip side.